Relax on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says, "Hey dude, you too must be from Marin." Marin County's A-OK, from Tam to Stinson all the way to MA. Fresh organic veggies in the market every day.
Welcome to the RUN TMC podcast. That is the RUN TMC podcast. RUN the Marin County podcast, a podcast about basketball in Marin County. Today is January 6th. We are January 6th. Why does that date ring a bit of a bell?
Nothing happened on January 6th.
Nothing's happening today, I guess, from what I've heard. I'm Duffy Ballard, and with me is Katie Levine. We are recording live at the Hub at Red Hill in San Anselmo. Our best ever sponsor, still a supporter, the Hub. Dave has already had himself a chicken burger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting just a few minutes before I have, I think, that Mediterranean salad, which is always one of my favorites. And we're going to talk some local basketball, some Marin County basketball.
Yeah, so we've had a couple episodes that have been more broad in scope, which have been great. So we had Professor Hollander from NYU talking about the impact of basketball globally. We had our good friend Thad Levine talking about Major League Baseball and front office work. Awesome stuff. This episode, we're bringing it back to our roots. Duff, we're going to talk about Marin basketball. We're going to give an update on the high school hoop scene, both the MCAL and the Bay Counties League, boys and girls, and kind of get ready for league play, which is coming up starting this week.
Yeah, we're getting into the thick of it. The new season begins, Dave. We've talked about that.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of ping pong back and forth between some girls teams and some boys teams, give brief updates that we've accrued both from sources on the web as well as in-person observations, as well as some friends and correspondents of the podcast. And then after we do that, we have some submissions from friends and correspondents from the podcast who are going to give us a minute or two on some of the teams we've talked about.
Sounds like a plan. We've talked about this on this podcast stuff. I know you and I have talked about this with our respective teams, but you think about the season being broken up into really 3 seasons. You have the preseason with tournaments and non-league games. Then you have the regular season, your league season, and then you have the postseason, which is, hopefully you make the playoffs for your league, and then North Coast section, NorCals, and beyond. So we are basically done now with the first part of our seasons. Actually, my team plays tomorrow night, our last non-league game before our league starts on Wednesday, but the time has flown by.
Yeah, it seems like the first few weeks of the season going through tryouts is a slog, and it seems like it's going to last forever. It seems like it's going to take eons and eons just to get to Thanksgiving break and some games, some foundation games, and then once you get there, man, it just starts to go fast.
It goes really fast. I have a running Google Doc that I keep with my practice plans, and I'm up to 28 pages now.
Okay.
And I remember vividly page 1. It feels like it was 5 days ago, and it was 2 months ago. But
those are the gray books of Dave Levine.
Good Slow Horses reference there, Duffy.
Quick dish and a dime. You turned me on to Slow Horses.
Yes.
And I just binged the last 3 episodes of season 3 after coming home from an ER shift. I just couldn't stop watching. Ended up being 2:30 in the morning.
It's really good.
Gary Oldman, just amazing character.
Not a sponsor.
But
Apple Plus, it's an amazing show. British spy. Really great. Well written, well acted. Good fun.
Lots of good flatulence.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's character is epic.
You have to watch it. We can't really describe it.
Yes.
All right. Good stuff, Dave. So why don't we thank our sponsors, and then we'll get into it. So we are here at the Hub. We'd like to thank the Hub. Jerry and Rebecca. Haley was here working over the winter break. So one of our favorite places in the world.
And then we want to thank our new sponsor, West End Nursery on 5th Street in San Rafael, for all of your plant gardening needs. Been there for over 100 years, 4th generation. The Unterman family runs it. Phenomenal business, great place to go. The service is incredible, and support local businesses like West End. They're awesome. So thank you for being a sponsor, guys.
And Batiste Rum and Nike San Domenico Camps and Jeff Skaggs, legendary Jeff Skaggs. Thank you. Our first sponsor was Coach Skaggs, and he remains one of our dearest friends of the podcast.
Jeff Skaggs recovering from a hip replacement. Went
right.
well. He's been texting me frequently. I know he's always a good early listener to the pod. Whenever an episode goes up, we often get a text from Coach Skaggs saying that he liked it and listened to it. So, Jeff, we wish you a speedy recovery and hope to see you out moving around soon.
Yep. Dave, we'll know when we really sucked. If Jeff Skaggs tells us he didn't like an episode, we'll know it's time to hang up our microphones and go take our voices someplace else. I think we're about to get the midday rush at the hub, perhaps here, Dave.
Exciting times.
All right, let's get to it. So why don't we just do this? You can maybe just summon your inner rankings of Marin County towns from Dan Dibley and just kind of fire off two schools from me from the girls. I'll do two from the boys, and we'll keep it pretty quick because we do have.
Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna preface this. The rankings that we're talking about are from Max Preps, which is a site that is pretty much established as the gospel. But I will say the Max Preps algorithm is not always on point at this point in the season. Sometimes the data is wrong. Like, for example, I saw this morning that our San Domenico team, our record on Max Preps was wrong. For one of our games was just eliminated. So our rankings were based on us being 3-9. We're actually 4-9, and it was a good win. So take with a grain of salt. But I'm going to start. Let's go.
So you are not last in the state.
We probably are still, even there. We'll start with Archie Williams. We're looking at Sir Francis Drake. They're right down the street. Archie is 7-5. The girls, Zach Wally doing a great job with that team. They are a Division III team. In the NCS Division III rankings, Archie is ranked 13th as of today. California Division III, they're ranked 32nd. And in the NCS overall, all divisions, they're 51st. But Archie's played a good schedule. They actually played a tough game against us. That was a close loss. But they've played a really good non-league schedule. I think they're going to be a surprise team in the MCAL. They can shoot it. They have some good young players. Reese Patton's playing great. Lila Peterson. So I think Archie's a very solid team. They're at 7-5. Branson, 9-5 overall. NCS D5, they are number 2 behind St. Bernard's. California D5, they're number 6. And in the NCS overall, they're 35. Branson, Avery Meyerberg. That's the scouting report. And actually,
give her the ball.
Kate Spalding, also a great freshman. Actually know her dad, Jeff, who's a great guy. Went to Stanford with me. But Kate has been a phenomenal addition to their team at point guard. Paige Macy, good post player. But Avery Meyerberg is putting up 25, 30 a game, it seems. And she's on her way to play at Amherst next year, play Division III. So Branson's off to a really good start. They're a very tough team, and they're going to definitely be in the conversation in the MCAL.
Good stuff. All right, I'm going to start at the bottom of the alphabet on the boys' side, and then we're gonna move up. So Terra Linda, they are 10-3, off to a really good start. A young team. They have some sophomores playing big minutes. Evan Brewster is a lot to handle, skilled big man who can go either direction with the ball. They have a senior, Chase Adelman, who has been lighting it up from what I understand. We're going to play a clip from friend of the podcast, Johnny Kearns, talking a little bit more about Coach Baker's team with Terra Linda. They are ranked NCS Division III, number 5. Dave, I don't have the rankings noted for the other for statewide or otherwise, but they're number 5, D3. They were highly ranked in the state early on after getting off to a really hot start. They've had a couple losses, but 10-3, great start for them overall at Terra Linda. For the Trojans. And then Tamalpais, so they are 3-11. This is definitely a rebuild year for them. They lost a ton of seniors last year. I think 13 they had. And so they play a lot of young players. They're big, but they're scuffling a little bit. They have a little bit of a hard time playing against pressure, but they've had a couple solid wins. They did have a win over San Rafael. And Sam Newmeyer, a 6'4" point guard, he's a sophomore, is a pretty nice player who's going to be a really good player in the MCAL over the next couple of years. They play on Friday against San Marin, and I should note that Terra Linda plays at Novato on Friday, the 10th.
Excellent. Next up for me, I'm going to talk about TAM. Why not? You just talked about the boys' side. The girls' team at TAM, 6-8 overall. Lynette Ingeloff doing a great job with that team. Their first win was against my San Domenico team in overtime by 1. I'm still, but not bitter at all, Duff, about that one. They are a Division II team. They're ranked 16th in NCS for D2. They played a good non-league schedule. So they've got a really good young team, a lot of freshmen on the team, and the future's bright for TAM. And then Santa Fe is 3-8 overall. They're a Division II school. Santa Fe's got, again, some young talent. They're trying to rebuild the girls program there, and they're competing. They played a really good, balanced non-league schedule, and now they're getting into league. So, on any given night, anybody can beat anybody, Duff.
On any given Sunday or any given Tuesday. Okay, San Rafael. So San Rafael boys, 13-3. They have Gio Brivelli and Luke Shapiro. We have an update from Steve Tornello, I believe with the assistance of artificial intelligence. You may have heard of this tool, Dave. So I'm going to let him tell you more about the San Rafael team. But they've had some solid wins, including a win over San Domenico in the early season. They are ranked D2 number 5 under new coach Colin Hamilton. So they got Gio and Luke and a bunch of youngsters, and they're playing really well. And then we have San Marin, another young team. They're 7-5, coming off of a 2-game winning streak. We saw them in the Bambauer, and they looked really good in the Bambauer. They went 2-2, but played really tough competition. And they have kind of back-end scheduling phenomenon that we talked about, Coach Lavadiotis, when we had him on the show. So they're just getting into the meat of their schedule now. And are good friends with is that Medic 18, our VPA? Oh, no, that's Marin County Fire. All right. Medic 97. All right. There we go. Hopefully everyone's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they are Division 3. NCS ranked number 11. They play on the 8th, a non-league game at Novato, and then they open up their league season against TAM on Friday. So they got some good young players, and they got senior JD Rhodes and Rio Seiler, who are stepping up and playing really well.
Awesome. Terralinda, 3-10 overall on the girls' side. Division III school, they're number 23 in NCS. Mary does a nice job with that team. We played them over the summer, and they, again, the after the top of the MCAL, which we'll get to, kind of Redwood, MC, San Marin, it's really anybody's game. So Archie, TL, Santa Fe, Novato, TAM, they're all really competitive. I think Branson's probably kind of firmly the third, fourth spot. But all those teams, they're just getting better. And you see a team like San Marin, where rebuilding, but it's because the young kids got the chance to play last year, and now they're looking really good. So TL, I think, is in that spot. They're 3-10. Nevada was 8-5 overall, so a good preseason for them. They're ranked 15th in the NCS for Division II.
All right, moving right along, we got San Domenico Panthers and our friend Tyler Gaffney. We've seen them play a few times already. They're 10-4. They're ranked number 4 in NCS in Division 5. They are a really well-coached team. They have a superstar in Gavin Early, but they have a bunch of other really strong players. They rebound the ball exceptionally well. They play really good, strong defense. I would expect them to make a really deep run in postseason play, and I would expect them to have a pretty good chance of knocking off University in the BCL this season. So they're 10-4, number 4 in Division 5. They host Marin Academy, the Marin Academy, on Wednesday. Okay, Redwood. All right, so Redwood is 6-4. They were down at the Damien tournament. We talked a little bit about that tournament. In their last game, they beat a team from Prescott, Arizona, 59-46. They won the consolation ladder of that tournament. So they've got back TT Carr, an all-world talent and player going to Cal next year. And Dave, this surprised me. They are Division II, NCS. They are ranked first in NCS Division.
Strength of schedule.
So they got the TT coming back. They got a bunch of good big men and some shooters. They have Benicia tomorrow. They host Benicia, and then they have 3 games this week. And then Branson on Friday and MC on Saturday. Big week, and also big news for the Redwood program. They have brought on a new assistant coach, someone that we know quite well, a friend of the podcast, and someone who I will not be sharing the Archie Williams playbook with, Tom Poser. So we're very excited for Tom. He's got his son Charlie's on that team, his son Eddie's on the JV team, and he is a great addition to what is already a very strong coaching staff. So they're going to be fun to watch.
Congrats, Tom. We're excited for you. And we're excited for those kids. Back on the girls' side, Duff, I'm going to do 3 because these are the top 3 teams, so I'll run through them quick. So San Marin is 11-3. Tony Butler has a voice memo for us that we're going to play in typical Tony Butler fashion. He's like, we're not as good as our record. We're overrated. That's Tony for you. They are ranked number 4 in NCS D3. They're ranked number 10 in the state for Division 3. They are the 14th overall NCS team, all divisions. They're off to a great start. San Marin always plays hard. They always play defense. They always take charges. They always make the extra pass. They have some players who can knock down shots. They're a really good team. And Tony does a great job. Marin Catholic, 7-6. KK doing a fantastic job with that team. They've played a very tough schedule. They've played teams like St. Ignatius, San Ramon Valley, University, Salesian. They've already played Redwood. They actually lost to Redwood by 8 in a really good game. So preseason schedule very tough. They are the 6th ranked team in NCS Division 4, 13th in the state in Division 4, and 21st overall in NCS. And I think MC is going to make a lot of noise in the MCAL.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the class of the MCAL is Redwood. They're 7-7, but that record is misleading. They've played everybody. They've played Reardon. They beat them. They've played Clayton Valley, who's excellent. They've lost to Acalanes twice. Acalanes is one of the best teams in the state. Will certainly be an open division contender. They lost to Salesian. So Redwood is not shying away from anybody. They're playing a really tough schedule, and they're in games. They beat our San Domenico team by 20. Kitty White having a phenomenal junior season. Maya Saibel shooting threes. They've got great contributions off the bench from freshman Drew Schultz and Hindi Copeland, a sophomore. So Redwood is deep, and Zach Burrell does a great job with them.
Yeah, they are tough. And we need to get Eric back as a correspondent. Note to self. Great guy.
Eric Saibel, Maya's dad. Eric's a great guy, great player in his own right, and a big supporter of local hoops and an astute observer of the game, and always gives us good insights. So yes, we'll get Eric's thoughts on the team later in the season.
All right, I'm going to shoot for 3 as well here, David. Mix it up. There's a logic behind it. I'll become clear in a moment. Novato is 5-6. They're ranked 18 in Division 2. They moved up to Division 2. I don't know a lot about their team. Looking at the schedule, it doesn't look like they played a particularly tough schedule, but they did lose their top several players from last year, including Josh DeVore, who was a guest on our podcast.
Yep.
So they're in a bit of a rebuild. They play San Marin on the 8th. That's a non-league game. Mentioned that one already. So Nevada, we'll see more of them. We haven't seen them play yet so far this year. That will change. And then we have Marin Academy, the Marin Academy Running Wildcats. They are a solid 8-6. Division 4, they're ranked number 15th. They have some kids that you and I know fairly well, including point guard Liam Mulholland, Kainoa Ho, who was at Mark Day School, coached by our good friend Scott Tachiki, friend of the podcast, Cheeks, Scott Tachiki. Shout out to him. So Marin Academy, they play, as noted, against San Domenico on Wednesday. And then finally, we have Branson, 7-7. They are Division 5 and ranked number 3 NCS Division 5. They have played a really tough schedule, just like Redwood, which is one of the reasons they are at the top of Division 5. They are a young team. They only have 1 senior. We have an update from friend of the podcast, Luke Esterkyn, whose son Kai is a 2-way player for the Branson team. He plays on JV as well as getting some run with varsity. So we'll hear a little bit more about Branson from Luke Esterkyn.
Beautiful. Wrapping up here, Marin Academy. My good friend Kelly Thomas sent me some comments. She was clear to point out she did not want this to be a scouting report as I play them later this week. But she said the Wildcats are coming off a second place finish in the West Coast Jamboree in their bracket. All tournament selections were Amelia Thomas, Alexa Schwegler, and Penelope Lee, a freshman. Amelia has been stellar all season long with a few double-doubles and multiple 20-point games. Amelia is an awesome player. Freshman Penelope Lee has been a fun addition to the squad. She's a true point guard with an impressive basketball IQ and a really fun player to watch. Side note, me, Dave speaking, I coached Penelope over the fall. She's legit and is going to be very, very good. MA has been dealing with season-long injuries, so players are stepping into roles they haven't played before. Hunter Johnson has been a key contributor. She's been playing center, not her position, and has been helping them win some games. So Marin Academy is really good. Kelly does a great job with them, and it's going to be fun to play them. this year. And then I'll just close with San Domenico. We're 4-9. We've played a tough schedule. We've had some injuries. We've had some kids missing, but we have Carly Amborn, so I think we can beat anybody and we can lose to anybody, just depending on how we're doing that night. But it's been a lot of fun coaching this squad. I'm really proud of them. I've got some players who never played at the varsity level before who are learning. And we've lost a few 1-point games. We've lost a few games that we could have won. So our 4-9 record, not reflective of how competitive we've been.
I have one question for you now and one after I finish my report out. Question now is, will Carly have a 50-point game this year?
I would say odds are pretty good. Yeah. She's had a 40 and a 38, and in those games she missed a couple shots that she normally makes. So yeah, I think she's probably got a 50 ball on her.
Okay, I hope to be there for that game.
Yes, me too.
Okay, finishing out. So our last two are the Archie Williams Falcons. So Archie, we are 9-4, Division III ranked number 3 behind Campo Lindo and Ignacio Valley. Campo Lindo is a team that we beat in the third place game of the Bambauer tournament. So we've had strong start to the season, pretty strong strength of schedule. We got back Mizi Butler for the Bambauer tournament, and he's definitely kind of filled a bit of a void where we now have better depth and can play a number of different styles of play. We started out the season doing a lot of full court pressure and now have kind of settled on mainly half court defense, really good on ball pressure, helping half court defense. Held Urban to under 30 points in our last game, which was a 52-29 win on Saturday. So we play at home against Marin Catholic on Friday in the league opener, and then we travel to Sacramento to play Rio Americano in a showcase tournament. So that's 2:30 in Sacramento on Saturday, and then back at Branson on Tuesday. So 3 games in 4 days. So that will be that little stretch will tell us a lot about sort of the makeup of the team and how deep we might be able to go in MCAL and into the postseason. And so lastly, Marin Catholic. So Marin Catholic is 6-9, coming off an easy win over Ukiah over the weekend. They're ranked number 13 in Division IV. They've played a pretty tough schedule and have had some heartbreaking losses. We talked about one of them in the Bambauer against the Redmond team. They also had 2 close games against Urban, which did not go their way. They're a young team. They have 19 players on varsity. I believe Coach Sai is starting to, like Coach Kerr, kind of hone down that rotation, close it up a little bit, and find his guys who can sort of carry the team through league season. I would expect that, much like last year, where they started slowly, that they're going to turn it around. I just hope that does not start on Friday, Dave.
Right.
So we love Coach Sai. I just wish him a lot of luck starting at about midnight on Saturday.
He's a Drake guy. He'll take it easy on his alma mater. Yeah. MC has lost even before that game that we talked about that they lost in the Bambauer. I think the prior tournament, I was talking to Mike, they had lost 2 straight overtime games.
Yeah.
So they're very competitive. They're really good. They're just, sometimes the ball doesn't fall or you get a tough call. Those close games can go either way. So MC will definitely make some noise in the MCAL.
Yeah, and they have Joe Hammond missed, I believe, 3 games in the Bambauer. Bentley Morrow has sat out some games. So they've had quite a few injuries, so they haven't really found their ideal rotation. I will say it's been fun watching Oliver Myers, who we had at St. Sebastian CYO, just as a sophomore develop into like a significant role player for that team, shooting the ball great. He's a really smart basketball player. Super fun to watch him play and have some success. And same with Lucas Rotem, friend of the podcast. Alon Rotem has a contribution for us, so I think we maybe talked more about MC than we need to, given that we have some redundant material coming. But we're just flowing with it, Dave. And so that, I believe, closes it out. But I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Unless you have further thoughts before my question.
No, please.
Okay. All right. So as we have talked about before, but it's worth mentioning that in the new structure for NCS, you start out at your base division based on the size of the school. And then when you go into NCS, you can go up or down based on your season performance. And it's based almost exclusively, I believe, on the Max Preps rankings, but there's a little wiggle room for sort of editorial decisions from committees. You can go up or down 2. So if you're Division 3, you can go as high as Division 1. or as low as Division 5.
Right.
But if you're Division 5, you can only go up. So you can go up to Division 3. So based on that, Dave, based on knowing those rules of the girls' teams, which team do you think will go the deepest into NCS?
Ooh, it's a great question. I mean, I think Redwood is the most battle-tested team. They won NCS last year. They went into NorCal. They've played everybody that they could possibly play this year. So they're not going to be afraid of anybody. They're very deep. So I think Redwood is going to go far. I would not sleep on MC, San Marin, or Branson, however. And I think Branson at Division 5 with Avery, their record is good. They played a decent preseason schedule. I don't know if Branson will get bumped up to D4 or D3, but I think if Branson stays D5, they could make some noise. And frankly, my San Domenico team, I don't think we'll get bumped up, and we might, be okay with D5, and that's great. Last year, as you recall, we got bumped up all the way to D2 for NorCals, and that was rough. So it's a really good question. I never discount San Marin and Tony's ability to win games, particularly in the postseason. D3 is a tough segment, a tough bracket. You got some really good teams there.
Are you going to end up mentioning all teams that we've talked about?
No.
in this non-answer. Okay. No, I agree.
My answer is Redwood.
Okay. All right. My answer, I'm gonna say San Domenico or Branson because they are top ranked in Division 5, and I think both those teams are pretty good Division 3 teams. So even if they both get bumped up to Division 3, they can make a deep run. If they are in Division 4, that's a really, really, really deep run. And if there's Division 5, forget about it. Both those teams are amazing. So I don't want to count out other teams as well. I think Archie and Redwood could make deep runs. MC really, but it really kind of depends a little bit on placement. So if they, teams get bumped up to Division 1 from Division 3, that's gonna be tough.
And one team that we didn't mention because they're not a Marin team, but University is always good.
Yes,
boys and girls. And Randy's got a great team, and the girls team at University lost a couple players, but they're really good. So that's a tough Division 4 team for anybody.
Right. They are Division 4 girls. 4, yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right, Dave. Well, I think we've done and dusted this thing. I know you're starting to shiver because it's a little, they don't have the fire triangles going out here just yet at the hub. I'm sure they will later. So if you want to drop by for a meal this week in the evening time, I got the big screen outside. They keep it warm.
Yeah, it's a little chilly, but and thank you for listening, everybody. We did this. We were getting feedback from people that, hey, we'd love to get an update on Marin hoops. So we thought we'd give the people what they want. Our message to everybody, as always, get out and support local high school hoops. This is a really fun time of year with league games. With the MCAL, you only have one shot at each team, so that schedule change makes each game very important.
And there's so much excitement. There's a lot of excitement from the
many fans.
From many fans.
Yeah.
So one of them riding one of these Super 73 e-bikes, which, Dave, is a little public service announcement. If you're like 11 years old, you shouldn't be on these Super 73 e-bikes.
Yeah. It's like the Today Show, Duff. We have fans lining the hub corridors for us. No, get out and watch hoops, everybody.
This was fun.
Duff, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. How about a handshake, Dave?
Let's do it. Let's do it. That was beautiful. Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Hi, Duffy and Dave. This is Luke Esterkyn. I'm calling with my Branson update, the Branson varsity. I don't have too much great information to tell you, but I can break down a few things. For starters, the team is pretty young. There are 2 seniors on the team, 3 juniors, 7 sophomores, and 3 freshmen by my count, and that give or take a few here and there, but that's ballpark. So it's a young team. They are playing that really hard, fast, aggressive Branson defense that everybody has known and come to love over the last few years. They're working really hard. The team has played, I think, 14 games so far. They're 7-7 by my count. It could, again, give or take. The only game I've seen live, I've actually seen 2. I saw one against Lick Wilmerding at College of Marin that they won, and they looked good. Lick Wilmerding also has some good players, so that was a good win for Branson. And I also saw them play a scrimmage against Akalani's, and that was pretty even matched scrimmage where they reset the score every quarter, so there was no winner or loser. Akalani's had a lot of really big, kind of senior-esque looking players who were powerful and strong. And Branson has also been in 3 tournaments over the last few weeks here. The Gridley tournament, where they drew Reardon in the first game, which was really tough. They lost that game. And then they played another tough team in the second game. I can't remember. It was Coleman Valley or I can't remember which team, but they also lost that game. So they went 1-2 in that tournament. And then they went down to Vegas to the Tarkanian tournament, where they went 2-2, also playing against some tough teams. And then they just got back from the Damien Classic in Los Angeles, where they also went 2-2, played some really tough teams down there as well. So, they're a young team. They're playing hard. I think they have a lot of potential, and they're off to a really good start. And I think that's my update. I hope that's helpful. Looking forward to the MCAL games starting up in the next week here. Happy New Year, guys.
Hey, Dave and Duffy. Alon Rotem here as your Marin Catholic boys basketball correspondent. The Wildcats have had a bit of a roller coaster to start this season and currently sitting with a record of 5-9 after a tough December schedule and some early injuries. But don't let that record fool you. This team has shown flashes of brilliance and has the potential to be a real contender in MCAL. Coach Saya has this team playing an exciting up-tempo style of basketball. Point guard Joe Hammond is the focal point of the offense. He's a lightning-quick slasher who can finish off 2 feet in the paint. And when the defense collapses, Hammond can either score or find open shooters, like junior Henry Dibble and senior Jake Ryan. These guys have hit big shots from beyond the arc all season. Senior wing Theo Pontes adds another dimension with his athleticism and ability to attack the basket. This team also has depth and up-and-coming talent. Freshman point guard Lucas Rotem and wing Dom Hammond have already made a significant impact on the floor. The supporting cast also includes combo guards Oliver Myers, Chase Merrick, and Kelly Storms. Each of these guys can get a bucket when their number is called. Look, the Wildcats' record might not be sparkling at this point in the season, but it's important to consider the context. They've faced a challenging schedule, including 4 overtime thrillers, and have battled key injuries to Joe Hammond, Jake Ryan, and Bentley Morrow. As the team gets healthy and gains more experience, I expect them to hit their stride. Okay, looking ahead this month, the Wildcats face a crucial stretch as they head into league play. They'll first take on the San Rafael Bulldogs on January 7th before facing MCAL powerhouses Archie Williams and Redwood. The Archie and Redwood games are back-to-back on January 10th and 11th and will be a true test of MC's mettle. For those who follow MCAL closely, these games will provide valuable insight into MC's potential. According to Jeff Skaggs, a friend of the podcast and Marin Catholic alum, historically, Coach Saya's teams tend to peak in the latter half of the season. So with a renewed focus and a healthy roster, the battle-tested Wildcats are poised for a strong showing in league play. My prediction is that by the second week of January, we'll have a much clearer picture of just how good this Marin Catholic team can be. Once again, this is Alon Rotem signing off as your Marin Catholic boys basketball correspondent. Thanks, fellas, for including me in this season's podcast. I really appreciate it. Take care.
Here is my snippet for the RUN TMC podcast about Marin Catholic women's basketball. We've played a really tough preseason. We played SI Tight, Redwood, University, St. Francis. We had Salesian, San Ramon Valley, Pinole Valley, and it's not lightening up. We've got San Domenico tonight, and then we have Menlo, Miramonte, Justin Siena, and Carondelet, plus our MCAL regular season, which we're excited for. Izzy's done a really good job leading our group. She's committed to Denison. She's shooting the ball well, sharing the ball, getting big minutes and contributions from Brooke Spagnolo, our sophomore, and Cece Biernay, junior. And then my other 2 starting seniors, Jocelyn Jignes and Sienna Frazier, they're consistent, steady, and I like where we're at as a group. We're getting better every day. Other than Izzy, Sienna, and Jocelyn, I know my roster is new to varsity basketball, and they've kind of picked up things quick, learned things quick, changed things, adapting. They're responding really well to my coaching. And I'm just excited for the group where we're at. We're sitting at 7-6 right now, and I like where we're going into MCAL, and I think, like I said, we keep getting better every day, and it's a good point in the season to keep growing and maturing. So we're all excited for what's to come. Try to stay healthy, stay on top of school, get ready for school when it starts tomorrow, and just keep going on the track we've been on.
Good morning, Duffy and Dave. Johnny Kearns here with your Terralinda High boys basketball preview 2024-25. To start, with the TL continues to have Coach James Baker at the helm in his 4th year. So far looking like his most talented and deep roster in his tenure. They look like they go about 9 deep. Senior guards include Calvin Albrecht and Chase Adelman, along with senior forward Bennett Kaiser, another senior forward, Pele Love, transferred from Brazil. Got sophomore Evan Brewster. Off the bench, senior swingman Cole Nelson, junior guards Sean Sharp, Cade Martin, and Cam Gregoire. TL continues to play Coach Baker style, fast, aggressive. Look to get the ball inside some more with their big front court, and have gotten off to a great start at 10-3. A quick recap of the season so far for the Trojans. They beat Tam at Tam their first game, beat Piner at home, beat Piner, and then went to the East Bay to the Cornerstone Christian tournament and proceeded to win 3 in a row there and win the tournament with Chase Adelman garnering the MVP. They then moved on for a non-league contest with Urban at Urban and won that, who Urban knocked them out of NCS last year, so that was a good win for the Trojans. Moving on, they moved to the Albany tournament in the East Bay, won 2 there, played the 3rd game, championship game against host Albany, and lost that one. They then moved on to the Piner tournament in Santa Rosa, had their first stumble of the season, lost their first 2 to Piner, rematch, and then Santa Rosa High, winning their 3rd handily against Ukiah. Lastly, had a non-league contest New Year's Eve day at Stewart Hall, who's a good team, won that by 3. TL will open the league on the 10th, January 10th, at Novato High. Following that, the next day, non-league contest versus Marin Academy at home. That is your Terralinda High boys preview. Dave and Duffy. Johnny.
We like to really dig deep into the data here. And today we're diving into some high school hoops. Specifically,
all right,
your San Rafael Dogs, man.
Yeah, the Dogs.
They are playing some seriously impressive basketball right now.
They really are.
12-3. 12 wins, only 3 losses. And it's, you can see in the stats.
Right.
And it's not just that they're winning these games.
It's how they're winning.
So we're gonna break down their season so far. What makes this team so good?
Well, it's like, to me, they're playing such an exciting brand of basketball.
Yeah.
And they're just relentless, on defense.
How the defense?
They're averaging, get this, 15 turnovers a game?
15 a game.
Forced turnovers, yeah. I mean,
so
it's wild.
They're picking pockets. They're
everywhere.
They're all over the place. So you look at, we got to look at the offense, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these guys can score.
They can put up points.
And it starts with the senior guard, Gio Brovelli.
Brovelli, he's special.
I mean, he just hit a huge milestone.
He did.
1,000 career points.
That's amazing.
And only, get this, 48 games.
That is unreal.
I mean, that's what, like 20 points a game for 2 straight seasons? I mean,
it's crazy.
Crazy.
And he's, it's not slowing down.
No.
This season, he's averaging 25.5 points.
Averaging 25.5.
Yeah. Per game.
And a season high of
40 burger. 40 points.
I saw some highlights of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Unstoppable.
Oh, he was feeling it.
Couldn't miss.
Yeah.
And then you got, not to be outdone, you got the junior guard, Luke Shapiro.
Oh,
This kid's putting up some crazy numbers, too.
Oh, he is fun to watch.
20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists a game.
Per game.
And that's the definition of an all-around player.
Oh, totally. He does it all.
And it's not just the numbers.
No.
I mean, this kid can fly.
High flyer.
Dunks, layups.
You got to see this guy play.
So exciting to watch.
Yeah.
But here's what's crazy. You look at this team, you're like, oh, 2-man show.
Right?
Easy, right?
You would think.
All right.
Not even close. It's what I call the third star phenomenon.
What's that?
So every game, different guy steps up.
So give me an example of this.
Okay.
So, this third star phenomenon.
Take the Lowell High game, right?
Yeah.
Asher Urban, 11 points in just 10 minutes of play.
Okay, so he's like...
Wasn't afraid of the moment.
Yeah.
Incredible energy. Just that's the dogs, man.
Okay, so you got Asher Rubin. Okay.
Yep.
Who else has
Oh man, there's been so many.
stepped up?
So many. Anthony Tajbash.
Okay.
He's averaging almost 10 points a game.
Wow.
Really reliable ball handler too.
Okay, yeah. You need that.
When they need someone to just, settle things down.
Right.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
And then you got sophomore Will Healy
Okay.
putting up double-doubles.
I got to say, this San Rafael Dogs team,
Oh, they're fun to watch.
they're fun to watch.
Absolutely.
And they're playing, I don't know, there's something special.
They got that heart.
They got that heart,
Yeah.
and
And that swagger too.
they got that swagger.
Yeah.
This is must see.
Oh, for sure.
High school basketball, folks.
You got to check them out.
What's going on? Run TMC, Coach Tony Butler, San Marin Girls Varsity, checking in mid-season per Dave's request. Pardon my coaching voice. Got through coaching a game and beating Los Lomas tonight. Puts us at 11-3. However, we are nowhere as good as our record at the time. Had another monster game from Quincy Dean. She's averaging a double-double this season, and she's been by far our most consistent player. Abby Bartolo's been really solid. She had a good game tonight as well. Behind that, we are, as I said, seeking consistency. So we've kind of just been mixing and matching behind them on a nightly basis. So our goal over the next couple of weeks is to try to take another step forward as a group and put ourselves in a conversation for playoffs and trying to make some noise. We know we're not there. So that's the goal of the next couple of weeks. Looking forward to opening league at TAM on Friday. Always kind of turns things up a little bit once you get into league. So we're looking forward to that and seeing what kind of noise we can make. That's it for now. See you in the gym.
This is Eric Saibel reporting on the Redwood High School girls basketball team. And after their historic North Coast Section Division II title last year, Coach Zach Borello put together one of the toughest schedules in all of Northern California. And the team has had some great wins against quality programs like Marin Catholic, Reardon, and Miramonte, and also taken losses against Acalanes, Salesian, and Oakland Tech. They close out preseason against St. Ignatius this Thursday and then start up the MCAL campaign and are looking to see if they can be the team to potentially knock off Marin Catholic after their many years of dominance in the league. A lot of balance on the Redwood squad, seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. So they've got an experienced core of kids and a lot of youngsters with a lot of athleticism that are definitely learning a lot and looking to build upon a really strong program.
Duffy, it's your friend, correspondent, Dave Levine. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. Longtime listener, first-time caller. So really appreciate our correspondents chiming in with updates on the teams. We heard from Johnny Kearns with an update on the Terra Linda boys. We heard from our friend Luke Esterkyn on the Branson boys. Luke Esterkyn, by the way, the lead singer of Stroke 9, who sings the catchy tune Marin County that opens up and closes all of our episodes. Thank you, Luke. We heard from Alon Rotem, longtime fan and listener of the podcast and a fabulous human on the Marin Catholic boys. We heard kind of from Steve Tornello. He used some high-tech AI bots to give his San Rafael boys update, which was entertaining. We heard from Tony Butler on the San Marin girls. Tony will be a future guest on the podcast. We heard from Eric Saibel on the Redwood girls. We heard from our friend KK on the Marin Catholic girls. And so great to get all these updates from correspondents. We had some games last night. Actually, I'm recording this on a Wednesday morning. My San Domenico girls had a great game against KK's Marin Catholic team last night. We beat them by 9, but it was a really tight game. A lot of fun, a lot of energy in the gym, which was great. MC was missing a few of their starters. So MC is going to be really good this year. And then I know the Redwood boys got a win last night against Benicia. Marin Catholic boys beat San Rafael. So just super fun time of year. And then this next clip is a friend of the podcast, Ethan Kassel, who you can hear, he is not a rookie when it comes to podcasting or announcing. He is a seasoned vet. He was the PA announcer for the Bambauer and has a ton of knowledge about high school hoops and gives us a great summary of that tournament. So enjoy, and thank you to Ethan, and thank you to all of our correspondents.
Hey guys, it's Ethan Kassel. You may have heard me on PA throughout the 28th Bambauer Classic at Marin Catholic, and jumping on the show just to give a little rundown of this year's tournament. I've said for a while it's one of the best tournaments around, and as unfortunately more and more teams opt to go to tournaments in San Diego or LA during winter break instead, it's become one of the only options in the area for really good basketball. And while it is a downer that so many teams are not playing in the area during winter break, I still love this time of year. It's a chance for teams to really lock in and focus on basketball without worrying about school and stuff. I personally remember very fondly the hours you spend like with your team, chilling in the gym, watching another game before or after you play. And I think it's where you get a lot closer and really start to see the game differently. And I think all 16 teams at this year's tournament got to experience that. And I think this was the deepest field this tournament's had. And I mean, there have been some really good additions in other years, but I think depth-wise, you look at some of the teams who are in the consolation bracket, like San Domenico, Arcata, Heritage, and this was just loaded with talent. So I guess from the bottom to the top, little rundown of some of the teams. Even Mills, who went 0-4, had a couple of really impressive individual players. Jeffrey Albacoro was a nightmare in transition. Connor McGuire for international, love watching him. Some D3 school is going to be really happy to get him, and if he doesn't win league MVP this year in the BCL Central, something's gone horribly wrong. Montgomery started to find themselves towards the end of the tournament. Their big 6'8 center, Michael Ewell, really finding his niche. Lincoln just getting transfers eligible, like Fred Davis, who came in from SHC. The combination of him, Terrell Price, and Samari Tanner is going to be fun to watch for the rest of this year. Central Catholic really liked a couple of their young guards, James McGee and Jordan Magana. Magana had a 31-point game. I think it was against International. San Domenico, Gavin Early might have been one of the top 2 or 3 players in the entire tournament. Arcata, lost to a good Redmond team on the first day, got blown out on the last day, but in the middle looked really sharp. Beat up on Central Catholic. Luke Moxon is a really strong combo guard who I think has the frame to play at the next level. And then Heritage, who beat Arcata in the Consolation Championship. You could argue that Heritage is the most improved team in this entire tournament. They finished in 15th last year. They looked really solid, super balanced. Well, like you could expect Brady Lockram, Jace Bernard, Nate Grube, and Lucas Daniel to each contribute in some capacity each game. But overall, like you have a lot of games where 5 different guys could give you 8 to 10 points. So that made them very enjoyable to watch. And just to see the improvement there after a couple of down years was really satisfying. They're going to be a threat in the Bay Valley League all year. Really, outside of Liberty, I don't see too many games that they should struggle in. Maybe Pittsburgh gives them a run on the right day. The other one, just to round out thoughts on the teams that ended up on the consolation bracket, San Domenico loses at the buzzer on day 1 to the eventual champion, ends up going 2-2, and they could give University a run for their money in the BCL West. And I've said for years that that's a super fun league. I say it's like the WCC of high school ball. You know, small gyms, maybe not the best athletes, but always really smart, skilled players, well-coached, teams that don't beat themselves. And I think we got to see that from all three BCL West teams, University, Urban, and San Domenico. Urban really put the clamps on defensively. Anytime they can get to 50, they're pretty much not going to lose. Just a matter of getting to 50, because it's not like they have, any like individual prolific shot maker, but they play such good team ball. And when they played University on the final day for 5th place, that game was played on Urban's terms. University ended up winning 58-49. Urban head coach Joe Skiffer told me he thinks Lucas Lau is the best University point guard he's gone up against. Like, University over the last 15 years, 20 years has had a lot of great players, but not a true point guard like Lau. It's usually, a shooting guard or small forward. So he's going to be monster. I mean, I really liked him last year as a sophomore. Really, he's the star on this team now. And just to do it all, scorer, passer, you name it, everything that team is going to do is going to stem from him, because they've got a lot to replace after last year. I mean, he and Jason Morris and Kenta Akiyama are the only ones that really got any playing time last year. They're starting to find their own. Like, I saw them in mid-December lose to Sacred Heart Cathedral, and they look so much better now. San Marin made a pretty good impression on me. Chris Lavdiadis getting the job there. Really, really balanced. Couple of multi-sport guys like Grant Means and Rio Seiler, good football, basketball players. Couple of kids that play baseball as well. And just another team where like 5 different guys could get to double figures any night. Marin Catholic starting to find themselves as well. Getting transfers in. Those guys are starting to work up to speed. I like Jack Herman, the sophomore. And then the young guard combo of Oliver Myers and Lucas Rotem. I think that's a team that's going to peak towards the end of the year. Camp Olindo, it was so fun to have them in. I've maintained for years that Stephen Dyer is one of the best coaches in Northern California, and he managed a really good game every time out. His team's super locked in defensively, and it took a lot to beat them for both your boys at Archie Williams and Redmond. Ren Marchetti, Gavin Rendell, and Luke Devine are a trio that could win a lot of games in a very good Diablo league. There are some nights when Campo's going to have to win it with defense, where maybe they're not going to score a ton because they just don't have like more than 1 or 2 really reliable shooters, but that they're going to run their stuff perfectly and always be in the right place and lock you down on defense. Your Archie Williams team was such a joy to watch, to see the jump they made from last year to this year. I think this team is a good 30 points better than last year's. Looking at the results against WCAL teams. Last year getting smoked by SI. This year nearly knocking off Sarah. And even before Measy Butler gained eligibility, this was a really promising group. I think he's fit in so well. And I've told people about this team, like, if you like high school basketball, watch these guys. There's no like guy who's getting a Big Ten or SEC offer, but it's all guys that know how to play together, are team first. 5 different guys could be double-digit scorers, and it's guys that aren't, like, out here with the ulterior motive of trying to impress next-level coaches. It's dudes who just want to win high school games with their friends, which is awesome to see in a world where, every 5 minutes now we hear about some kid going off to this fake school or that prep academy garbage. So it's been really enjoyable to watch, and I've made sure to spread the word to tell people, for next year's major events, NorCal Tip-Off, MLK Classic, like, Archie Williams should be on the radar. As for the 2 teams in the championship, I really like Redmond, and it's kind of hard to believe that their program hasn't had a ton of long-term success. Just with the way they run their stuff, very screen-heavy offense. Nicholas Schneider is another one who could end up making a D3 or NAIA coach really happy. Maybe take a post-grad year and then figure it out. Or do a JUCO thing, because now everyone has eligibility forever. Eligibility is a myth. If you're 30, you might still be eligible. But yeah, Redmond was super enjoyable, and I hope that they come yearly instead of every other year. Matthew Grabarski, only a sophomore, could be the most accomplished player that program's had in a long time. And again, just it always feels like when out-of-state teams come to California for tournaments, or SoCal teams come to the Bay Area, They knock down their free throws. They're high percentage shooters. And it seemed like everyone on that Redmond team could shoot except for a fateful about 6-7 minute stretch between the third and fourth quarter against Sarah, who of course won this tournament. I remind people often, I am from Burlingame. Sarah was our main rival growing up, but I love the way they run their program. They graduated 4 starters from last year. One's playing in the Atlantic 10, one's a D1 walk-on, one's at Sonoma State, one's playing D3 ball at Denison in Ohio. And they haven't missed a beat. I mean, their JV team was solid last year, but not amazing or anything. But between the guys who were already on the roster that have gotten better and the guys they pulled up from JV, they have been tremendous. Mikey Balut might be one of the best players in the WCAL. He will compete with Bellarmine's Will Corbett for the title of best player in the entire league not playing for Reardon. And they're going to be such a tough out, the sort of team that on the right day could knock off even a Reardon or Salesian. I mean, they only lost to De La Salle by 12. And it's just, the machine keeps rolling. And this is like the perfect team for Chuck Rapp to coach. No egos, everyone's selfless, everyone's team first. And they're still getting healthy. Alton Robinalt was just coming off of his torn ACL. The tournament was his first games back. Wyatt Von Blanco was averaging 13 a game, missed the tournament with an ankle injury. They get Moreau transfer Tyler Bailey into the mix too. This team is going to be up at the top all year in the WCAL, CCS Open Division, and probably like a high D1 seed in NorCal, if not even more than that. So a well-earned tournament title for Sarah. Just a blast altogether. 4 days of really good basketball. 16 entertaining teams, lots of compelling games, down-to-the-wire finishes, moments where you got to watch coaches draw up end-of-clock stuff, and just nowhere you'd rather be between Christmas and New Year. So I hope you got to tune in or showed up to watch the tournament live, and if you didn't, make sure to come out next year because it is something you should have circled on your calendar if you enjoy basketball.